There is a Japanese proverb that states, "It is the man who drinks the first bottle of sake. Then the second bottle drinks the first. And finally, it is the sake that drinks the man." Well, today, guys, we're going to be playing another game of Geeks on a Roll because we had some issues with how we did it last time, and we thought we could tweak it a little bit and make this game a little bit better. So if you've been listening, you know the first time was like a trial run for this series where we're doing a little bit of role play on Systematic Geekology, playing theology as play. So we're going to be doing it again. We're going to try take 2 with a different story and different players, different characters, the whole jazz. I can't wait to get into another episode. You know, this is where we do like omniverse stories. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Last time, Christian, TJ, and Will tied for the record that Christian did before this was an official series. And now Christian is back to see if him and Mark can actually take back his title from himself. So the high score right now, 27 points. You get 10 points per category of, let me read them off. Mission status, teamwork, sustainability, strength, and fun. Plus, there's a potential for 10 bonus points. So when we get into the game, that's what we're doing. But for now, I'm Joshua Noel. Usually I'm Joshua Noel. Sometimes I'm someone else. Don't worry about it. And I am here with 2 esteemed players. The one and only Christian Ashley, record setter and breaker. How's it going?
All right. Ready to see if I can do it again.
Yeah. And one of our favorite returning guests, good friend, awesome podcast host. If you ever hear Grub and Grace, you'll know the one and only Mark Flower is here with us today. How's it going, Mark?
Let me join you guys today.
Oh, yeah. Can't wait. Before we do anything else, though, we got to shout out what we've been geeking out on. And mine's been a weird trip. Weird in the sense that, like, there's a lot of normal, but then a lot of, like, why did my brain do this? So I decided I was trying to wait a month to get back into Kingdom Hearts because I was like, I'll go 1 month without it because, you know, distance, heart grow fonder, whatever. I didn't make it a month. I made it 23 days. And then I've already beat Kingdom Hearts 2. It's been 3 days. And the reason I did 2 is like I was going to play through them all. I was going to roll the dice and see what number came up. Like, I have a 10-sided dice. I was like, that's the Kingdom Hearts that I'll play. And then I think I went with like 4 was Kingdom Hearts 2 because I was trying to do them like chronologically or something. Anyway. Then I played Kingdom Hearts 2. Was like, you know, actually, I just played Jak and Daxter last year, and Jak 2 might have been the best Jak game. So I replaying it, and then I'm going to replay Ratchet and Clank 2, and then I'm going to play the second Sly Cooper game, and I'm just going to go through all the 2s of like the PlayStation 2 years. So the 2s of PlayStation 2, that's what I'm geeking out on because my brain is weird. Christian, what have you been geeking out on, man?
What saddens me is I can see your logic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm actually going to shout out something that Mark brought to my attention. I haven't finished it yet. I'm still only 5 chapters in. It releases monthly, but Bug Ego is a new manga that's coming out every now and then, once again monthly, and it's all about the different ways that you may be able to hack the world, make these specific things happen. Some are really mundane, some are really terrible, some are kind of cool. So I'm interested to see more because that could even be a potential episode Mark and I do later on. Probably TJ too, because he reads everything.
That'd be cool. Mark, is that what you're geeking out on, or you got something else?
I was actually going to say Bug Ego. It takes forever for them to get episodes out, so I have been caught up for quite a while now. But of course, like Dun Dun Dun, always a classic one to go to. Like Ichi the Witch has been really fun lately. It's gotten absolutely insane. I don't even know what's going on in some of the chapters that have been coming out recently. So sometimes it's just like one big fight, bloody mess scene that's just like you don't even really know what's going on in each panel. So that one's been kind of fun and interesting. So but mostly it's been more nonfiction books for me. I've actually not been too much like the geek side of things lately. So a book called You Contamination. If you went to Theology Beer Camp, you may have met the authors of the book. But that's kind of what I've been geeking out on lately.
Nice. Yeah. The Will always likes to remind us that everybody geeks out on something, so it might not be like your typical pop culture stuff. Because he talked about he had a guy at his church once do a whole speech on stoplights because he was just super into stoplights. So everybody has something, man, and I think that's a good thing to geek out on. We all need to be educated, and maybe we'll bring up some of those books at our reading count sometime. Have you on one of those?
Sure.
Do something a little bit non-conventional for Systematic Geekology. I think it'd be fun. But for now, what is conventional is I go through the intro stuff. I tell you guys that we really appreciate people who rate and review our show wherever they get their podcasts. It takes very little time and it does a lot to make our show recognized in the algorithm so that they're like, wait a minute, this is a show that other people like. And then it'll make other people see the show, helps us grow. It's free. It takes just moments, and we really appreciate it. We also appreciate all of our financial supporters, and we have to shout out Ethan Overcash. Ethan, you rock. Part of why I chose Ethan, too, is like, I guess to somewhat be a part of a D&D session that he did at Geek Camp last year that we're going to be a part of again this year at Lutheridge. So if you guys want to go to Geek Camp, email us for some more details, and we'll get that to you. And Ethan will probably be there. So if you want to know who I'm shouting out, you can meet him. You can meet an official sponsor of Systematic Geekology, and also maybe the host, but the sponsors you can meet. Also, if you guys want your own shout out, you can become an official member of Systematic Geekology on our website that's in the show's description down below, wherever you're getting this. You can also get some free content. You can buy merch. You can leave a one-time financial gift. There's a lot of stuff you could do without becoming a member, so if you don't want to be like subscribe, there's still a lot of stuff over there that's totally worth your time, so be sure to go over to the website and check stuff out. Of course, if you want more of the Geeks on a Roll episodes, the first one we did and the prequels to the series that we didn't know were prequels are going to be in a playlist with a link. Also, show's description. There's a lot of stuff in the show's description. If you're not reading the show notes, you're missing out on a lot, actually. But all that out of the way for now, we're going to go ahead and jump into today's episode. So, starting off, we developed a catchphrase, and by we, I think I mostly mean me while I was making a t-shirt because I thought it looked cool, and I remembered someone saying this at Theology Beer Camp once, that it's important that we think of theology as play, because sometimes just playing and doing stuff and having fun is an act of embodied theology. And I don't remember all the smart people words that were in that speech, but I remember that I really liked that phrase and that it felt right to me. So we're going to lean into it. As we're doing play. We're doing some role playing, some game, walking through a story together. So first, the one who's least likely to agree with things said at Theology Beer Camp, I'm going to throw it to Christian. Why do you think that playing and teamwork might be such an important thing beyond just the enjoyment that we partake in doing so, Christian?
It teaches us how to work together with other people well. I mean, when you're on the playground and one kid wants to play one game, another one plays the other game, it can teach you compromise. It can teach you, how to adapt to something you're not big on. Like there were times when I was on a playground at elementary school and I didn't know what the heck they were talking about because I hadn't watched the show at the time. It's like some kids wanted to play like Digimon, other people wanted to play Dragon Ball Z. And the shows that I did watch then, it's like, yeah, I can play Dragon Ball Z. Haven't watched Digimon, so I can't do that. But what I can do is participate with you, because I do like you. And maybe I'm not going to get into the show quite yet. It'll be later on in college, but I can appreciate you love it. So let's work out there. Let's compromise. Let's actually have fun together, even if I don't fully understand what's going on.
Yeah, I felt that way many a time. And usually, if I'm trying to do like D&D, I felt that way. For some reason, Champions, I understood a lot better, and that was like a way that our youth group, back when I was a good evangelical Pentecostal guy. And I was a youth leader, and then when I was in youth, we actually did a lot of playing Champions and would just get everybody together. We're developing a story together, and it was like seeing the ecclesiology in action, not because like we were doing some like deep Bible study, but because like the church at its core is embodiment. It's being a body together in community. So I think like that was always cool to me. Mark, when you hear the phrase theology is play, what feelings does that invoke in you? What's that make you think of?
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at like role playing and stuff like that, kind of like Christian, mentioned, that kind of removes you from real world like circumstances and allows you to kind of see yourself as a third person, kind of like the ego in a way. And allows you to navigate difficult like circumstances or ideas or stuff like that, or in ways that you don't see as personal. So like Christian was saying, like you can kind of remove your emotion out of it. You can see yourself subjectively, and allow that to navigate the world and to interact with people in ways that you might not be able to interact with them in the real world. As a place as according to like working with one another as like co-op gameplay. It allows that kind of creativity to come forward, where in real world circumstances you might not be able to have that creativity. and you can bring your experiences in like this kind of creative theology and whatnot into the real world by experiencing it outside of the real world. So yeah, I think it's important to do this kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, I had a couple other thoughts that might just be me being a crazy person, so I'll take with grain of salt. These are just what's on my head right now. It might be like an hour later, I'll be like, oh, that's why what I said was wrong. We'll see. Um, but I think of like a couple things, and I know we said to not other than just the enjoyment we get, but I think that is part of the point. If we're thinking about theology, we think about who God is. I think of like the phrase "joy boy." I think of like Jesus smiling. Joy is this fruit of the spirit. Like I think you can't detach theology from joy, from pleasure. And that also makes me think C.S. Lewis, he has that book, Surprised by Joy, and his testimonies, like he just had these moments where he felt something deeper and what he meant by joy and what we mean by like happy and fun, two different things. But like he felt those moments of deepness. And that's what really called him to God in the long run. And I think when we play, we see that in each other. You're invoking the sense of joy in me. Like we'll have a special moment while we're playing, and I'm like, wait a minute. Not only is Mark just like a cool guy, but like actually there's just more to him than just, oh, he's fun to be around. And I think we have some real moments when you do some of these kind of games where you're like, oh, wow, I would have never thought of that. Oh, I would have like seeing this made up world through Christian's eyes. I might be like, oh wow, and develop a deeper appreciation for, I think, the parts of God in him because, we're all made in God's image kind of thing. Um, and that's part of where I go. Then also part of my brain is like, I think for a long time, part of what it means to be human is like, we would go hunting together. We would do these warrior things together. And like society has kind of evolved past that. But I think we still have some need as humans to do some of this like teamwork, going out on mission stuff. And I think game a lot of time is really the best way that we can fulfill that innate human desire. Because obviously it doesn't make sense for me to be like, hey guys, let's go hunt our dinner. And Christian's got to be like, Josh, I'm going to Publix. Like, what are you talking about? But if I'm like, hey, let's play a game where we're going to hunt chickens, he'll be like, that sounds like a weird game, but sure. you know? So I just think that it fulfills a part of what it means to be human that's a little more difficult to figure out in our modern context, I think. But yeah, do y'all think I'm crazy? For that? Do y'all think I'm crazy for that specifically? Not.
Now you have to narrow it down. No, I don't think you're immensely crazy for that specifically.
Oh, okay. All right. So I think Christian read ahead on the outline, so I got to ask if he's read the story. But we're going to be diving in with this story into some food detective work. We're going to borrow a lot of today's story from The Restaurant of Lost Recipes by Hisashi Kashiwa. I might be saying that incorrectly. Does that sound like a correct pronunciation? The thing is, like, I read and I'm just like, I know the word and I don't pronounce it in my head, and then I have to say it out loud when I talk to people. I'm like, huh. Anyway, Christian, it seems like you looked at the outline ahead of time. Have you read the story? Did you cheat?
No.
Okay, good.
I have never read the story before. I only read the parts I was supposed to read.
Perfect. Okay. So we're going to be getting into some One Piece, some Omniverse craziness, characters from various fandoms. That's going to be a lot of fun. Okay. So our annual theme this year is all about people, like the faces behind us, the people that motivate the main characters in our favorite fandoms on Systematic Geekology. So that's what our annual theme has been. This episode, we're probably not going to get into a ton of that, but I think we're going to see how food can sometimes bring us all together, how it can be an inspiration for people, how sometimes the face behind someone's actually whoever prepared this meal that actually was meaningful, that brought people together, that did the stuff. So no, I think it's important that we take the time not just to appreciate the role that food has in theology, but also the role that our chefs and cooks out there play in bringing people together. So that's, shout out to all the cooks out there. So I told you guys, this is the team. I told you to pick one Shinto spirit, one detective, one chef from any of our favorite fandoms or cook. And I also gave you a choice of another character that could either be Laura Croft, Helena Shaw, Ellen Ripley, Aqua from Kingdom Hearts, or Rivet from Ratchet and Clank. We actually ended up going with two because I think TJ helped pick one, and then TJ left this episode, and then we got Mark, so we let Mark pick another one. So we have.
Do you want me to take over TJ's? Because I just took whatever was left. So.
Oh no, you're all playing as a team, so it's fine.
It's good.
Yeah. And the reason that I gave y'all the choice of those five wasn't really anything deep with the story. It was I wanted a female lead, and I wanted to make sure it was someone that I knew well enough that I could talk about. So
cool. Well, I know nothing about my characters.
Perfect.
I took the challenge.
Perfect. So You guys have a team of 5 total, and we're gonna go through and let you guys tell us some about the characters that were chosen, what you think about them, why they were chosen. I know Mark wasn't a part of a lot of that process, but he can guess why you guys did that. That would be fun. Just guess. So first up, I want y'all to tell me about the cook/chef you chose and the detective you chose for this team.
Yeah, so not knowing there would be any One Piece shenanigans here, when TJ and I were trying to figure out who we want as our chef. Well,
Yeah, I
trying
was
to think about
so happy.
I had sent him a list of a couple characters, and he's like, "I like that one. I don't like that one." But we both kind of agreed, like, "Oh, Sanji's pretty well rounded. He's very adaptable to his surroundings. You put him in, and he'd be a little better if we. Benjamin Sisko is a great chef, but is he what we need for this? Do we need some Yukihiro, Charity Carpenter from the Dresden Files? No, Sanji's kind of our guy.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping you guys would either pick Sanji from One Piece or Sinchi from Delicious in Dungeon, or someone from the Bear, just because I think that would be interesting. Just something completely different out there. Yeah, Mark, do you watch One Piece? Are you familiar with Sanji?
Yeah, I like Sanji. Sanji's a good character.
You want to add anything about Sanji?
Just loves his food. Loves food, loves women. That's his character.
Yeah. Who can blame him? All right. For the detective, we got Batman on this team. Tell me something about Batman. I've never heard of this guy.
Public domain character no one's ever heard about. Yeah, same thing. We were deciding, like, okay, for the detective, like, I mean, do we just want to do the best of the best? We want the world's greatest detective. So we threw out L from Death Note. We threw Naoto Shiragane from Persona 4, Sherlock Holmes, of course. But what they don't have? They're not Batman. Everyone falls short compared to Batman. So we decided, you know what? We'll make our detective Batman.
I like it. There's so many options I would have loved. I do love Batman. I also would have loved Sherlock Holmes. There's a few others I think would have been cool. I think it would have been interesting if you would have done like a paranormal one. Just would have been curious. There's a lot of paranormal detectives.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got our cook, we got our detective. Let's go through when I give you like the random choices of female characters. Christian, you and TJ chose Aqua from Kingdom Hearts, and then Mark chose Rivet from Ratchet and Clank that he knows nothing about. So I want to hear our thought process.
I googled Rivet, by the way.
Nice. That's all you need, honestly.
You know what?
That's all you need.
I don't know anything about her either, so this is going to be very interesting.
Cool. I'll fill you in.
I'm so excited. For those who don't know, Ratchet and Clank and Kingdom Hearts are my all-time favorite games. So it's just really funny that Rivet's here and you have no idea why. And then there's Aqua. So Christian, tell me why y'all chose Aqua.
Yeah, when TJ and I were making that list too, he wanted either Ellen Ripley or Aqua, and both awesome ladies for different reasons. But I figured at the end of the day, wouldn't it be better, not knowing what we were getting into, to have like someone who had experienced a lot more things and was, once again, adaptability is something I appreciate a lot in the team, and having a lot of people like Keyblade Master who lived for 10 years in the realm of darkness and suffered through a lot there, and yet hasn't lost completely her way, and now has come back into where she can look after Kyrie and stuff like that. You have a solid friend, have a solid teacher, very capable, the most versatile out of your 3 characters in Birth by Sleep. So why not choose Aqua?
Yeah, also there's that unfair advantage of like knowing you chose one of my favorite characters from my favorite franchises. And I'm not like a good writer like Christian, who's like, I admit my characters have weaknesses. I'm the kind of writer that's like, it's Aqua. What? You said that she flexed her finger and everyone died. Okay, yeah, that worked. A little bit of cheating. I shouldn't have let that be an option, but it's fine. Okay, last up. I don't know why I made you guys choose a Shinto spirit, knowing that like I'm terrible at pronouncing things, and this whole story is gonna be in Japan, and I'm terrible at pronouncing things.
Couple white guys trying to pronounce Japanese terms.
Yeah, it's have you guys heard the song from Lonely Island? That's Japan, and the whole song literally it's just we're 3 cool white guys in Japan. Now, oh man, yeah. Tell us about the spirit you chose.
Right, so I didn't understand initially what you meant by spirit, whether you meant like more of a yokai or a guardian spirit of sorts. So, going through and researching, I knew Kami is a multifaceted term in Japan. It can mean like kami-sama as in the god. It can be a kami as in a god, or a kami that's just like this wood spirit or what have you. And TJ and I were, all right, well, let's throw the heavy hitters out there and let's see what happens. So I proposed Amaterasu, Fujin, Hachiman, Namazu, and Raijin. He did Susanoo, Ryujin, and Tsukiyomi. And I think it came down to either Susanoo or Amaterasu, and we ultimately chose Amaterasu, who, you know, he knows more than I on the backstory here on the mythology. Like, I appreciate Japanese mythology, but it's not like I don't know it as well as like Greek or Norse or what have you there. So she is one of the top goddesses in some forms of Shintoism, where she and her brother and get into a lot of shenanigans, shall we say.
Yeah. I got to be honest. I think what happened was I didn't put a lot of thought into who I was asking to choose this. And my brain was like, what I know about Shinto is that it's like a way of being and that they have this whole belief that there's a spirit in everything. So I was thinking you guys were going to come at me with like spirit of the woods or spirit of the office desks, something like that. Not something really
That would have
super
been
specific with a lot of power. And then I was like, wait a minute. I asked TJ and Christian. I should have known this is what was going to happen.
I almost fought for the sake of not having a named person to do Namazu, which is like this giant catfish that lives under Japan and causes earthquakes. But like, we didn't think that would be very controllable within a story.
That's fair. That's fair.
You're like having wild magic.
Yeah,
Man.
exactly. Could go off at any time.
So, preemptively, I want to let on some of the theological deeper themes that I think we might be able to explore by playing this together that we're going to talk about later. But I want to preemptively get us all thinking while we play about some stuff. The power of food to calm, inspire, and bring people together. I think we could touch on spiritual realities, maybe spiritual warfare, depending on how things go. If peace is a possible goal, or if it's just something that we're constantly attaining for that'll never be achieved. And then how we choose to cooperate with the local communities, whether in evangelism, missiology, just in life, etc. So those are the things I think we could come up on with themes that we might want to discuss later. But we'll discuss it after we play, and we'll see what we all played out with our beliefs or feelings and our personalities all playing a role in this. The rules. Here are the new rules for the game. So to craft a story together, the GM and players are we're going to try to trust and respect each other and say yes and rather than no, you can't, as much as we can. When we have disagreements, we can roll, but there will only be 7 rolls and 2 coin flips because we got to keep this short. The GM, myself, I'm allowed to choose when 2 of the rolls take place. If I'm like, I'm not sure about that one, let's roll and see. And I get the 2 coin flips are my call, and it'll be just a 50-50 if it worked or not. You guys can choose when to use the other 5 rolls. If you're like, I think Josh is full of it on this, we'll roll. And I get to decide what the rolls mean or when it's mine, and I'll let you guys decide what the rolls mean when it's yours. And we'll try to take into account, who you have on your team, what, advantages you may have or not have to the rolls. We'll consider that as we go through. There's always going to be some sort of theological, philosophical puzzle, theology kind of play that we're going to be doing. And this is going to be food. And I think of eating coming together as a type of theology. I put a really high value on sharing a meal personally. And there's going to be at the end, again, I mentioned before, there's going to be a slide for the potential bonus points. So you guys don't know what these side objectives are, but at the end, if you happen to have done these things, you could get up to 10 extra points when we get your score. Now, before we play, I want to know what role each of your team members are playing. If you think this person's going to be the lead, this person's going to be more backup, and then what do you think the team would call themselves? So we got a team of 5 here. Mark, do you want to take a stab at any of these since I know Chris and I have just done so much talking?
Who's going to be the leader?
Or just anything that you're like, I think this person would take more of this role. I just want to hear how you guys think the dynamics are working.
I mean, my initial say would be Batman, just because he's taken a leader role in his own respective world in comics. I don't know too much about the Kingdom Hearts woman, and the Japanese spirit. I wouldn't assume that would be a leadership role, but more supportive maybe. But I don't know. That would be my guess. Batman. Christian, what do you think?
Yeah, I was kind of imagining this be a co-leadership of Batman and Aqua. Batman, minutes within meeting these people. I mean, he's Batman. He can scan anyone better than Sherlock Holmes. And he's figured out doesn't get Sanji to do anything. Sanji will probably do something, but if he has a woman telling him something to do, game, set, match. So it's
That's right.
between
Sanji's fawning over Aqua.
That would actually be a yeah.
So fun. I didn't even think about that. Wonderful. Chef's kiss.
so I'm thinking co-leadership between those two. Um, let's see. I don't know Rivet that well, but I imagine, based on what little I do know of Ratchet and Clank, she seems mechanically minded.
Yeah, so yeah, she's gonna be more mechanic, more your firepower. The biggest difference between her and Ratchet, so she's like an alternate dimension version of Ratchet in the Ratchet and Clank games. I think the biggest difference is she's come from a world where dictatorship has won, where fascism is the rule of the land. So she's the same as Ratchet, but she comes from that world, which has actually softened her in a lot of ways. So whereas Ratchet just like all going straight forward all the time, she's a little bit more cautious. Not that I would say she's a cautious person, but she's definitely more cautious than Ratchet. She's still like fun loving. She'd probably still be the life of the party here, but you could just
He's more
tell
tempered than
more
he would
trauma
be.
there. Yeah, a lot more tempered. Yeah.
Okay.
She'd have that empathy, not that toxic empathy.
And this is why I wish TJ was here, because I remember very little of Amaterasu's story.
No,
Of it's been quite some time. I know her and Susanoo go on adventures together. I know there's something about the underworld eventually. And she is used to being worshipped as a goddess. So I don't think she goes for the leadership role, but I think she knows I have a part to play here, so I'll support.
Yeah.
And if that's entirely wrong, I get the mythology wrong, you come at me.
Yeah, guys.
Leave
feel free
all
to
the
come
comments
at
down
us.
below about how I'm wrong. I'll take it.
And I'm not even gonna attempt to say her name. I'm just gonna say Sun Goddess. I apologize in advance. I just think it'll be more disrespectful of me to mispronounce it the whole time. So that's what I'm going with here. So with that in mind, I'm gonna be using your goddess character at the beginning, and I apologize. But let me see if I can pull this up. We're just gonna do away with pretense here. I'm not gonna come up with a reason why all these characters are in the same universe. They are. The people of Japan are under attack from Big Mom from One Piece. She is wanting a Japanese Christmas cake. And everyone they've thrown at her has just been the wrong cake. And she's just getting angry. She's stomping on things. She's just devouring places. The people prayed to the spirits. They were praying to the spirits of Japan. And the spirits gave them Harrison Ford. And he's like, I don't, what am I doing here? He prays and he comes in contact with Sun Goddess. If someone wants to say her name, they can. But I'm just going to roll with it.
Amaterasu.
There we go. And she then informs him that she has a team. So she gets with your leaders, Aqua and Batman. They come together. They're answering the call. What Harrison Ford and the people of Japan have decided together, in cooperation, there is an island off the coast. They have told Big Mom that that is where the Christmas cake is. They have the cake. It's over there. So she has been diverted to go that way. So she's distracted temporarily. I don't remember my reason for this, but they're afraid because the first time she had the cake was in Kyoto. That's what it was. So she's going to go to Kyoto. She's right outside of Japan at the time. They're diverting her to an island, but she knows that the first place she had that cake was in Kyoto. So that's where she was going to go. That's what's going on here. They've diverted her. What they want to do is give her the cake or something to calm her rather than having a giant war in the middle of Japan and there being a lot of collateral damage. So they're trying to find a way to just calm her. That's all they want to do. And they can't figure this cake out. That's where we're at. Harrison Ford has asked you, with the world's greatest detective, can you please figure out what this cake is?
Well, we keep
Fake.
It's a heavy responsibility.
Not even Indiana Jones, not Han Solo, Harrison Ford.
This just reminds me of that one Robot Chicken sketch where he sent off an asteroid's about to hit Earth. It's like, you were in that one movie, right? You can lead this mission. Guys, I'm a 60-year-old actor. I can't do this. You know what? He's fine. They're probably paying him. So Mark, what are you thinking here? How we want to approach this?
I left out a detail. I do apologize. Harrison Ford has been informed. He doesn't know how much truth to it is or anything, but he said the only clue he asked for you is that apparently there is a family in Kyoto who swears that they have had this cake before.
Huh.
That is the only hint they have at what the hell Big Mom's talking about with this Japanese Christmas cake. Because, like, they made the traditional one, and it's just not it. That's not what she wants.
Huh.
Sorry. I apologize that I missed that detail. Probably important.
Thinking specifically of it being in Japan, you probably have to look at specific Japanese ingredients. So probably have to make our way to probably some chefs and bakers, maybe even call out some like Michelin star chefs and whatnot. Sanji might be a good way to test certain ingredients, but as far as trying to locate and find ingredients, now Joshua, do we have to like do we have to try to slow down her like assault on Japan? Is she like causing havoc or anything?
Well, right now the diversion seems to be working. She's heading to this island, but they don't actually have the cake on this island. So that's not going to end well.
Okay. So there's a couple things I want to bring up real quick. One, not known by many people, that man isn't really a weeb, but he knows enough because there's one specific comic where they're going to Japan and he gives Martian Manhunter the alias of Ray Hino, aka Sailor Mars. Martian Manhunter, Sailor Mars. So he's got enough knowledge there. He also has, you know, the other Bat family who's a little younger, so they may be in the One Piece. That could be an advantage here. We also have Sanji, who's literally from One Piece. So depending on where in Sanji's journey we have here, he could have relevant information about her, especially since he was supposed to be married off to her family. Once again, this depends on when we have Sanji. We're just going to say current Sanji.
I'm not
Okay.
caught up, but I'm going to say sure and know that that's risky. Yes, and.
Hooray. So I think I'm trying to think of other characters involved with this. I don't remember if Amaterasu ever had like visions or anything like that, or anything that would be applicable to the scenario. Aqua is an outsider here. Her whole role is to try and fit into wherever she's at. Rivet would definitely not know anything about Big Mom or anything there.
No.
Am I forgetting someone?
Did you mention Aqua?
I said Aqua. Yeah, I said everyone. So yes. So what Sanji knows is that they can make two separate plans here. They can make the one plan where they try and make this cake by going to this place in Kyoto. Batman can figure out where they are because he's Batman. And two, he can let the. Okay, good. Two, he can let the JSDF know that devil fruit users can't swim. So if they can connive a way for her to be unable to swim, they could drown her. So that's the backup plan. Yeah, I think we're focusing more on Harmony and all that first. So that'll be like if everything else fails, just send a missile or whatever and knock whatever ship she's on and make sure she falls into the depths. But because we're promoting peace and whatnot, because we're good people, I guess. Let's start with the first option.
She seems to be riding.
If you're fine with that.
She seems to be riding a cloud. So you're starting with the first option, or are you splitting the team? What are we?
What do you think, Mark? Should they all stay together and like tell like the Japanese, defense force that this is a possibility, that a way they could take her out if all of it goes wrong?
I don't have a problem with them splitting up. I think we should be strategic about splitting them up. I don't think it should be everyone in every single direction. I think we should split them up into groups of maybe like 2, 3, or 2, 2, 1, or something like that.
Okay. I think for right now, let's just let them know the relevant information that they know about devil fruit users. And we can all go to Kyoto. If something goes wrong there, then maybe discuss splitting up, if that might help even the odds elsewhere. So they go to Kyoto.
Everybody's going to Kyoto?
Yeah, I know.
Okay. All right, cool. So you're in Kyoto. I assume you're going to start with a family, or?
Yeah. Batman will interview, the family, coming out of the shadows in the middle of a bright day somehow.
Yeah. Okay, so this family owns their own restaurant. They remember this cake because their son loved this cake, who has passed away. And unfortunately, they have also been in search for the same Japanese Christmas cake, because they saw Big Mom there once, and they all enjoy the cake. They know what cake she's talking about because they ate at the same place she did. It was a restaurant known as Sintnut's that no longer exists. It has been shut down. The owners have passed away, but that is where the cake was made. They remember it vividly, and they have never been able to recreate it. But they do give you a few hints. There was a strong aroma to it, very fruity. The cream itself was real fruity. It was a French style, which was kind of weird for a Japanese Christmas cake. But, St. Newt's was a French name for the restaurant, which means 100 nights. The cake was fluffy, but it had a crunch somehow. There was like a slight crunch to it, which is weird. Most Japanese Christmas cakes don't have that. They're usually all soft. So that's what we got.
So fruity, crunchy,
Strong aroma.
strong aroma.
Fluffy.
I want your work pen.
French style.
Tragedy, French. So it's evil.
French is evil?
Yes.
What?
Oh. I don't want to use one of my dice here. I'm just going to decide. Yeah.
Well,
Aqua
I was gonna-
singes.
Go ahead.
Because they're all together, right? It's not just Batman. Okay. Aqua also senses there is there's a spirit of like darkness, of like loss that seems to be associated not just with the family, but especially when they talk about the cake. So there's something about loss, sadness that is involved here. It seems that even when they describe it, that maybe sadness itself was part of the recipe she's thinking. But she obviously can't tell.
recipe.
She knows there's something there.
Okay.
She also has experienced loss, so she resonates with that in Keyblade stuff.
So it's not that she's sensing a presence, she's sensing something that might be involved in the process of making the cake.
Yeah, she senses that about the cake itself.
So there's no like specter or anything nearby.
No. You just can tell that something about the cake itself seems to also involve loss.
Aqua senses.
Yeah.
Okay. How long ago did they die?
The owners or the family's
The
child?
the previous restaurant where this cake was made at.
About 7 years.
7 years? Okay. So we're still in the digital age. That's good. Mark, do you have something you want to say?
I'm wondering if Amaterasu, the sun goddess, I'll just say that. I wonder if she has any intuition about this. Being a sun goddess, kind of like a spirit. If she has any connection with the spiritual world. If she were to get close to the business, walk around, or kind of float around. I don't know how it floats or walks, but is she able to sense anything on her end as well?
Around the family's business, or are you trying to find the place that the other business was shut down?
As far as like loss, any I mean, you said there weren't any like spirits around, but remnants of emotion and whatnot.
Yeah, but which business is she trying to sense?
Oh, I thought we were still at that business where the
The
couple
family
passed
is
away
it?
7 years ago.
Oh, no, you haven't been to that business yet.
Oh,
You're at the family's business. You're at the family's restaurant who had the son that died 7 years ago. So, I mean, obviously,
That's right,
it's
okay.
his loss, but I assume you
Sorry,
would rather go to where the other business used to be.
I was trying to remember Amaterasu herself isn't associated with the underworld, but Susanoo for a time was in there, her brother. So I'm not going to go that way. That's for my own use. I think our best bet is to use Batman's technological prowess here and have him, even if he needs to use Japanese Wayback Finder archive machine, to see if that place had its own restaurant, menu, and then narrow down what this could potentially be based on the menu items.
So, are we not doing the thing where the spirit's trying to feel out the other spirits?
No, I actually like what Christian's progress here is. I think his idea is a good way to move forward with this. So I think using technology, like you said, use Wayback Machine, trying to use technology to find out old menus and that sort of thing.
Okay. He finds the menu. There is no Japanese Christmas cake on this menu. Makes no sense at all. But, all over the digital menu, there are still images of the Buddha, Siddhartha, and Fukakusa, which I don't know if Batman would know who that was, but I assume he's able to
Wakusa?
computers. And he's like, oh, okay, wait a minute. There's a story about this guy. He probably can figure that out, right?
What is in like the Emperor Go Fukakusa?
I don't know. That I don't know. I only know this one particular story that he's in.
Okay, fair enough. Would it be a history check to see if he'd know any relevance there?
Yeah, do you wanna do a roll check?
Sure, I'm good with it.
All right.
Yeah.
One of our 5 rolls. This is for Batman specifically. He's smart.
Batman
He spent
specifically.
a ton of time in Japan. He spent some time, not a ton, but
He studied as a ninja and a samurai.
with his advantage. I think if you get 12 or over, I think we're gonna say he's got it. Okay. Is that
Okay.
fair?
That's fair.
You got a 3.
Okay.
That's
Well,
unfortunate.
It says super specific
Wait.
time in Japanese history, so guess not.
Wait though, I think the spirit probably would know.
Amaterasu,
Yeah,
I mean, she's lived her whole life there.
she's not Buddhist, but she knows about the spiritual world. She knows about stories. So she's going to recall Fukakusu is famous for a story called 100 Nights, which is St. Newt's is the French word for 100 nights. So it makes sense. So this is the story that the restaurant was named after. And it involved kind of sort of like a love triangle from my understanding, but it involved, again, guys, I don't know how to pronounce names, but Kumachi and Sosho, who were saved by the Buddha, and I'm going to call him Fook because I am just not going to try to pronounce his whole name. Fook basically ends up in a situation where Kumachi tells him if he is willing to visit her 100 nights that she's going to marry him. So naturally he goes night after night till the 109th, and that's just kind of how it goes. He had to visit her 100 nights. And there's a bunch of little mini stories in between, but that's what the story is about. It's a love story where this man was told that if he visits every night for 100 nights, that she would marry him.
Do we know the name of their son? The first owners we go to?
No. And I don't want to make up a Japanese name because I'm afraid to do
Okay. That tells me not as relevant. Okay.
Yeah, his name was Mark Flower.
Yeah.
In the flesh.
They were huge Westaboos, you know.
It's fine, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So he's probably not tied with this given the dismissive nature of that. Because I'm the world's greatest detective now.
Okay. Batman is now investigating me, the GM.
Yeah. Is there anything within the 100 Nights story that would pertain to any dessert of any kind?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
But I will just, break the third wall and say it is extremely relevant to figuring out the mystery, though.
All right. Well, guess who's studying 100 Nights? The Goram Batman.
Do we have the time for that? Are we not afraid of Big Mom making it back in time before we solve this?
No one gave us a countdown, did they?
No, we don't know how long it's going to take her.
I mean, Batman is Batman. You don't think he can speed read this sucker within an hour or two?
Come on, you can just use little AI.
Well, or you can even use all of his gadgets to read it for him.
I'm going to roll. I'm using one of my rolls for this to see if he has enough time. Again, because he is Batman. Huge advantage. I think as long as you get 5 or higher, I'm going to say he's able to do it. It's Batman, You got 5. Incredible.
Cool.
All right, he barely does it. All right, so time won't be a factor for now. So he's reading through. He discovers he read through the story. Now I'm going to have to use a coin flip, as he knows the story really well, but is he able to figure out the other twist here? By the way, I just want to let everybody know, if you're watching, you'll see this. I'm using the pirate medallion as my coin. Yeah. I'm that geek. So heads, he's going to learn some other alternative information. Tails, he won't be able to figure this out. Here we go.
Okay.
Heads, awesome. But when he was looking it up, trying to read it, he realized there was multiple versions of this story. And Batman being Batman was like, I want to know specifically, what is the version that they tell in Kyoto? Because obviously, it being a Buddha story, there's Chinese version, there's a bunch of different versions. In the Kyoto version, Fook does not get the girl. He dies on the 99th day. It's a tragic story in the telling of Kyoto. And in doing so, I'm using my second flip here. I'm using both right for this. Heads, he's going to learn. Tails, he's not going to learn. Tails, all right. So all he knows is that is the version in Kyoto. Unfortunately, did not Google enough to stumble upon it.
Right.
Poor Batman.
So it's okay. He's doing pretty well for himself. So with all this in mind, telling Sanji this information, does anything spark within him of like maybe a previous recipe he might have heard about or something he thinks he could whip up if need be?
Sanji is distraught that the man never got the girl. He wants to know what's happening to the girl. He is just obsessed with this story. And he's like, food is always story. He knows that, that's what food is. I think Sanji, I'm not even going to roll for it. Sanji is just so in tune with everything here. He's like, there's no way this is how it ends. What about that restaurant? Did they have a child? They do. Batman is Batman. They do.
Yes.
And that child has a restaurant that they opened that, guess what it's called? The French version of 99 Nights instead of 100 Nights. Because, that's the version that Kyoto knows. So Sanji figures that part out basically just because he's so attached to the story. That's what I'm going to go with.
Okay.
And he knows Japanese Christmas cake. It's a beautiful thing. It's inspired from France delicacies, but Japan has made it its own. And there shouldn't be a crunch. That's the thing that's bothering Sanji the most about this. Why was there a crunch? That doesn't make any sense.
So in a normal recipe, that crunch wouldn't be in there.
Oh, no. He is baffled on why that's a thing.
And so he knows what
said,
the recipe is, but does he know what the actual French cake is for the original recipe without the crunch?
Yeah, he knows how to make a Japanese Christmas cake. He doesn't know why this one's special, but he did figure out what restaurant the original owner's child opened up through the story. And he knows that the weirdest thing about it to him that just shouldn't be part of this is the cake having a crunch. Yeah.
Okay. So we have every part of the recipe except for that part and the sadness. How you could transfer sadness into a meal.
The spirit. knows about the sadness. She sensed it as
Amaterasu
you
did.
were here. Yeah, she is going to sense it because I liked that idea.
Okay.
The sadness comes from the story. The story is part of the food, part of the recipe. If you don't have the story, you don't have the food. And the tragic loss that 99 days he made it, but he couldn't make it that 100th time. If you don't have...
So it comes...
Yeah.
Sorry. So it comes from the knowledge of the story itself and the way you can pour yourself into making the dish itself. Otherwise, if someone else tried to replicate it, it wouldn't be the same.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. It needs to be made by someone who deeply connects with and feels the story, if you know anyone.
We do have one now. But we're missing the crunch, though.
Yes.
So do you think we should track down that daughter in that restaurant, Mark?
Yeah, I think we should track them down. Right now with this whole like shift from the 100 to the 99, honestly reminds me of Matthew 18, the parable of the lost sheep. I wonder if that has anything to do with it, bringing in a little theology with it. But I know that, Christianity is still a thing in Japan, and I don't know if that has anything to do with this recipe at all. I'm probably way off target with this, but
I don't want to discount that because I like that idea. But Japan's population of Christians is like less than 2% of the total population. So it's not an impossibility.
My counter
so let's keep that.
Do you think your GM is smart enough that he knew about that? I think your GM might be stupid.
I'm sorry that I think highly enough of you to where you could have put this in there, but I should be lowering my expectations.
It's just my warning. Lowering your expectations a lot. I'm not.
So I guess we can cross that one off the list.
Yeah, let's go visit. Let's go visit this other location here.
Okay.
All right. Because I forgot to write down the French, we're just going to call it the 99 Nights. We all speak English. It's fine.
Yes.
The owner, granddaughter, actually, of the 100 Nights restaurant, she does recall something unique about this recipe. She isn't sure if this has anything to do with the crunch, but she does know that her grandparents' recipe for the traditional Japanese Christmas cake they ate every year was different. She kind of remembers a crisp layer to the bottom part of the cake, and she remembers her grandparents telling them a story of American troops being stationed outside of Kyoto and how most of them were cruel, not very kind, but there was a few that were really kind to them and their family who would visit the restaurant and even sometimes would help cook on a busy day. And the grandpa told them about how they would make an American cake. And he heard that and he actually incorporated that into how he prepared the bottom. It's a 2-layer cake, the bottom layer of the cake. So that might be the crunch, but she knows that was her grandfather described it as crispy though, not crunchy.
Not crunchy.
But she does recall that.
Okay. Well, Sanji obviously doesn't know our world's nationalities and their dishes. So what do you think? If Batman could research potentially what this might be?
Yeah,
Batman goes to chef mode.
I mean, the man lived on his own for many years before he became Batman. He had to learn cooking along the way. That's it. That's literally one of his skills too. He is a great chef.
All right. Okay. I am using my last roll. So I've used both of my flips. One of my rolls. This will be my last roll. You only used one of 5 of y'all's roll. You must have mostly agreed with me this episode. To see if Batman has enough time to figure this out. Oh, a 12. I was only making him do a 5 or higher still. I didn't say that, but... So he definitely has enough time still. So you still are okay on the time, somehow. Maybe this island was far away. Batman figures out how the American, especially the military, used to make their cakes. They found a cheaper way to make it. They would use a biscuit-style cake. So he's thinking, doing the research, it's possible. And in fact, Batman's smart. He's going to ask Sanji, would it make a difference of crisp and crunch if the cake wasn't just prepared differently, but was actually a different style? Batman's looking into it. The granddaughter's still there. I'm assuming you're talking to the restaurant because I want this to move along. And granddaughter's going to chime in with oh, that's right. I remember when my parents used to make it. It was a little different than when my grandparents did. Her parents also made it. They just weren't the grandparents that owned the restaurant. She does remember it being a little different. She didn't like it as much. That might be the crunch. Also, she went ahead and told you the other stuff earlier. I didn't tell you all this, but it was peach juice that caused the aroma. Batman's a detective. He asked all the questions. We already did this. I just forgot to tell you guys the information. Peach juice in the icing is what caused the different aroma. Usually, it's all strawberries. There's not usually peach involved, but Kyoto, with Batman's great Japanese knowledge, Kyoto used to be really famous for having peaches in that particular area a long time ago. They haven't had it in a while. So peach juice was actually involved in the icing. It's what made it smell fruitier than a normal Japanese Christmas cake. So that accounted for the aroma. And we already had the biscuit base for the bottom. Do we already cover everything? You got the sadness. We got the French style. You got the crunch. You got the fruity cream and the aroma. Okay, yeah. So you figured out all of the pieces to make this cake. Now you just need someone who is deeply connected to the story to be able to make it with the correct spirit in the food.
Sanji. Feeling the immense loss of a woman who didn't get to have her man.
I think if you're okay with it, maybe even Batman while he's making it is like leaning over Sanji, retelling the story just to drive him crazy.
Oh, absolutely.
And on the 99th night, he died. He never got to be with his love.
And I don't know. We haven't let Rivet do anything. Should we? She like the sous chef or something? Is she competent at doing that?
Yeah, she's pretty good. She got the mechanical arm.
Sure.
Yeah.
He's up really fast.
Yeah.
And I think a woman being there would motivate Sanji even more. There we go.
Perfect. Well, you have the cake ready. You're getting it all stationed up. Big Mom's already on her way back. She's discovered the cake wasn't on the island. She's rageful. She's coming back to Kyoto, pissed off, but you're ready with the cake. You're ready to soothe her with this cake when all of a sudden on the other side of Japan, so she is coming from the west, from the east comes none other than Godzilla, who sensed something was wrong with the spirits of Japan, and he's come to make it right. So now you have Godzilla coming from one side, Big Mom coming from the other. You have the cake. But now it seems that these two are destined to collide right over Kyoto, the very place you're trying to keep from having too much collateral damage. That's why you made the whole cake in the first place. Harrison Ford is very aggravated at Godzilla right now.
How big of a cake?
Hell. So Big Mom, it's got to be a big cake.
Do we have enough time to make a second cake?
I mean, I don't have any rolls or flips yet. So if you think you have enough time, I mean, I
with the buildings we have,
yeah.
His tools, gadgets. We got Rivet.
Amaterasu is home field
Rivet's got a
advantage.
whole arsenal.
Yeah.
She's got
We have a literal
machine
goddess.
gun with rockets in it. Yeah.
Aqua is always good at
Swordplay.
the fighting foes bigger than herself. So we could use them as a stalling measure at the very least, because I don't know if unless Batman could create a way to talk to Godzilla off the fly, which I highly doubt. We may be able to use them as diversion, but that leaves Sanji by himself. Do we trust Sanji by himself with Big Mom? Actually, you know what? I'm going to say I do, because he's heard the story. He's prepared it well. His cooking, that's like everything about who he is. And for him to screw this up would be very out of character for him.
Yeah,
He wants her to have a meal.
Or just giving up and just letting things fly. Like if he can do it, he'll do it. So
Yeah.
I agree. All right. It being Godzilla, but you have the sun goddess. So I think collectively you probably could hold him off. Do you guys want to roll and see?
what are we rolling?
Yeah,
Are we rolling to hold them off? Or are we
Well,
rolling to
see, what are you trying to do?
success?
Are you just trying to slow him down, or are you trying to?
The goal
slow him
is
down?
diversion, slow down, if possible, incapacitate, but not highly unlikely for that one. So I'm just saying, what do you say, just diversionary, Mark?
Yeah, diversionary works.
Same thing with the group you have being so awesome. What if we say 3 or higher? The diversion works. Is that cool?
That works for me.
All right. I mean, y'all's second roll somehow only 2. 13. You super
Lucky
stoned
number
well.
13.
Right on.
Let's roll again for Sanji since we haven't rolled enough. 2. He gets to roll again. He's fine. He got a 20 the second time. It averages out, guys. There you go. Sanji trips on his way. Well, that was the 2. But so Big Mom makes it to Japan, but she doesn't make it to Kyoto. Of course, he stops her and says, "Please, I've made it. It's the perfect cake." He even tells her the story. He's like, "This is why it means so much." Because Sanji has to tell the story. He has to give the food to her. He's feeling it passionately. And of course, it soothes Big Mom. Big Mom is now calmed all the way down. You still have Godzilla. He's being detained, but probably not forever. But that's where we're at.
But wasn't the whole thing is he was upset because the spirits were upset that Big Mom was about to attack?
He was upset because he could tell the spirits were disturbed. But I
Okay,
think
well, now
that
that she's
stepped down. Yeah.
she's been soothed. Sorry,
The
that
sun
lisp is coming
goddess, so
out.
I think the sun goddess could probably explain to him too.
There you
Calm
go.
him down. Yeah. All right. So I think that calms him down. Are we doing anything else? We're letting Big Mom go now that she's calm. Are we gonna try and confront her or anything?
Well, they're probably going to ask what her intentions are from now on. Also, how she got here.
Yeah.
She's gonna build the ultimate pirate empire and rule this world.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's a dime a dozen for Batman.
So has she already had her cake and eaten it too?
Oh,
Is
she's calmed down.
at this point right now?
Yeah. She's calmed down. Godzilla went away. The immediate danger and everything's already been settled. Rivet doesn't see any need for us to care anymore, probably.
So I'm trying to think of something here, Mark, of a way to reveal they know about her weakness without like pissing her off. As a way of like saying, "Hey, we know how to take you down, but like we want to live once again for the purposes of this video in harmony with one another. So can we avoid this happening?"
Protect the citizens of Japan as well.
Yeah, it's like, hey, something like, we can continue to help satisfy, your culinary needs. Just stay here. Don't worry about that fanciful stuff. The world, the more they learn about you, the more scared they're going to be. They could even figure out how to take you out. We don't want that.
Do you think you were able to convince her pretty handily to just kind of calm down and maybe live a peaceful life outside of Kyoto?
Honestly, this is literally like a 50-50.
Yeah, give her some land. I mean, we could even suggest the Japanese hot springs where those monkeys are.
And her higher?
Yeah.
Let's go with it.
That's 50-50, right? 5. She's not buying it.
Okay. Well, negotiations have failed. So I guess Batman will step in and say, "Okay, you can create your new empire, your new pirate empire, but like, just give us a couple months."
So he's gonna do his planning thing, come up with a plan to detain her once she's on a ship, or maybe just booby trap the ship or something like that.
Yeah, not to take her out because Batman doesn't kill, but to incapacitate and imprison.
Got it. Well, he's Batman. I can't force any more rolls. So if you think it's successful on the basis that he's Batman, I'm willing to accept that she got trapped forever on a ship after she tried to launch her pirate empire.
Batman is used to working with crazy people he's fighting against, so I think this gives him an edge.
Yeah.
If you're fine with that, Mark.
Works for me. Okay. So you calmed Godzilla. The spirits were eased. You had the sun goddess there, and you got her the cake, so she calmed down. You planned ahead, let her try to build a pirate empire, and imprisoned her on her own ship. Bravo. Applause. Wait a minute. I forgot. We have applause. Well done. Well done. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at our bonus points, see how many you guys got before we do the rest of the rating here. At one point, if you never left Kyoto to discover the recipe, I don't think you did you?
I think
We stayed there.
All right, so that's 1. 2, if you calmed both Big Mom and Godzilla with minimal damage to the cities. I don't think there was any damage to the cities.
No.
All right, so we're at Thoroishi. If you permanently detain Big Mom, you get another 3 points. So we're at 6. Almost 5. You were able to get Godzilla to help restrain Big Mom. So we didn't get number 5. But
That's fine.
That's fine. Yeah, 6 is still pretty darn good for bonus points, I feel like. So we're going to get a +6. And now you guys have to just roll with my judgments. That's cheap. Okay, mission status. I can't think of a way not to make it a 10. Like you did all the things. Like you got the cake. Big Mom didn't destroy literally anything. Harrison Ford even smiled at the end of this. I don't like giving
Famous legend.
I don't like giving 10 out of 10, but like I can't think of any reason you don't get it on this one. Teamwork. God, like I can't think of any like real conflict here. Like, because like Batman's not going to hit on any of the ladies. None of the ladies are going to be offended that Sanji wants to hit on them. Aqua is so too sensible to really like butt heads with Batman. I feel like personality wise, they're pretty different. So it's not like they're all going to leave the best of friends.
No,
but like they're working well together. I'm gonna give it a 9.
I don't know. I think we kind of left Rivet out though. I mean, we did have her help out make the cake a little bit, but he probably felt a little bit left out. I don't think we can give it a perfect score because of that.
I don't think that was our fault.
I'm gonna give it an 8. Because that's true. She was left out. She was a little sad. Sustainability, as far as like them staying together long term, the biggest downer on that is really just Batman he's too much of an isolationist. He likes himself.
He works with teams all the time.
He works.
He has like the biggest family in the world.
He works with teams all the time, so it's not like a huge thing. But like, I feel like eventually, Batman's gonna have some reason to be down, and I'm Batman. I'm gonna be alone. I have to be alone. I can never be happy. Something, I don't know. But other than that, like, Rivet might not stick around just because like the kind of stuff this group is gonna be doing probably isn't super relevant to her. Again, that's probably not your fault.
She's always about fighting the authoritarian dictator, not making cakes.
Yeah. And then as long as you got a lady around, Sanji's sticking around, and Aqua just desperately wants to find a blonde family, and I think she would find it here. All right. I'm going to give that another 8. This is... Y'all made actually a pretty good team. All the, like, let's consider strength.
Well, thank TJ for that.
Sun goddess. You have a sun goddess. Like, as far as strength goes, then Rivet with all the firepower, literally all of the firepower you can imagine. Aqua being probably the most powerful Keyblade wielder, or one of them. Yeah, strength's pretty high.
Batman's taking on.
Yeah, I don't think it's perfect, just because like Batman, as like good planner and stuff as he is, I feel like he's a little bit of a weak point in just like a straight up fight. Like, he's not taking down Godzilla.
That's why he wasn't punching Godzilla.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Like, I don't think it's perfect on strength. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's still like you still have a sun goddess and Rivet and Aqua and Sanji. I might have to get that one. I'm gonna give it an 8 too. I'm gonna give it another 8. Man, crazy one. Batman is bringing something down. Fun. Batman also is probably going to bring down the fun factor. He doesn't like to have fun sometimes. I think it depends on who's writing. But
very much so.
Altogether, there's just a lot of trauma on this team. Like, I think Rivet would bring some fun, but she has, that. Aqua is going to be kind of a downer. I don't know about the Sun Goddess. I can't say too much about that. Like, I don't think they're having a bad time, but I don't think it's going to be like all giggles and stuff when they're just hanging out, So I'm gonna give that one a 6. I'm gonna give fun a 6. Is that the last one? That's the last one. All right.
That's the one.
Problem is, I'm a really generous grader, I feel like. So I feel like when Christian's GM, no one's possibly getting as high a score as I 16, 26, 34, 42 plus 6.
48.
48. You destroyed Christian's last record of 37. And gonna have to update this outline so people know. 48 is the new high score, destroying 37 that was set by Christian, TJ, and Will last time. Phenomenal teamwork here. Before we wrap this up, that was a long one. These are always going to be a little bit longer because it's a game that we're playing together. I want to see what you guys thought about some of the themes that I had in mind. If you can see how they played out, or think we might have learned something about each other in this, anything. As far as food, the importance of food, spiritual realities, whether peace is possible, and then working with the local communities and mission kind of stuff. Did you guys see any guys or anything you think that's worth commenting that you're like, oh, Josh probably thinks this way and he's stupid for that?
Yeah, it's food soothes the hangry soul.
True.
I will say personally, for the result of peace, I didn't go with option B because I saw what you were doing with this. And even though that would have been the more expedient thing for them to do, I think it was more loving to understand where this story was coming from first and where Big Mom was coming from, but to actually pursue that goal, even though it would have been, once again, easier to just neutralize her based on her weakness.
Well, my plan was, if you went that route, was Godzilla's coming from the other side. And now your guys are all the way on this side of the island. And you probably get there, but Godzilla's at least doing some damage to Kyoto first.
Yep.
Yeah, that's kind of my thought process. I also am not sure that peace is always a possibility. Like, I think it's always something to attain to, but like, I don't think that came out as much as I thought it would. Food definitely did, especially even like spiritual reality behind a meal. I think that really came to light, and just the way that y'all did the detective work, and then having Aqua there, who I think was able to sense a lot of loss, I think kind of really helped highlight that point of the story maybe a little bit. Mark, you have any thoughts around some of these themes or anything before we wrap this up?
I think you extract many of these. Food, obviously, we're making food in an effort to try to, reduce the emotion of someone. Spiritual realities, sensing the spirits of lost souls and people we've lost in the past. Peace, trying to find a you know a thing that will stop calamity and harm and whatnot. And then more of a religious kind of standpoint. I don't know. I brought up that 99 sheep, the lost one.
That was cool. I wish I would have known about that. And
Yeah, Shintoism and stuff like that. We bring in the sun goddess and everything like that. And there's a lot of spirituality in Japan, of various religions. So I'm sure you could find something with all that.
Yeah. Thinking about the peace thing too. I think I realized I might be a little too pessimistic because this is something like it wasn't part of the game. Was after you calmed down Big Mom, because I really just thought that y'all were going to end up attacking and it was going to be a big fight. But having her actually calmed down, I didn't know what was going to happen next. It turns out, put on the spot, my thought isn't, oh yeah, she's going to live peacefully now. My immediate reaction was, oh no, she still wants to have an empire. She still wants to do something heinous out in the world. So I think maybe
Well, that makes sense for her.
my low view of humanity, or that just
No,
yeah.
it's the character. It's like that she's used to getting her way. She's going to trample over anyone who gets in the way. And any peace that was achieved would have been temporary. So that's why the backup of neutralizing her was what they were going to do, because they recognized the threat.
So less a comment on me and more a comment on Big Mom and people like Big Mom who just have to
Yeah.
have what they want when they want. Yeah.
Well, I think you also have to look at the players too. If you look at like Rivet and Aqua, they both have a lot of empathy and looking at the mission of we got to make this cake so we can calm her down. So it's more of the mission as opposed to let's just take her on and just fight her. So looking at it through the character, I think we superimpose ourselves on it too. And Christian, I don't know about you, but me going into this, I'm like I want to complete that mission. I want to make the cake and make her happy. So
Yeah.
I love Mark and people like Mark. Like I want to make her happy. Yeah. Yeah. And then I also really appreciate how you guys highlighted that Sanji was like he took the time to make this cake for someone. He's going to make sure that they get to have the cake. And I'm like, yeah, that is the honor code. I wasn't planning to talk about honor in this episode, but you brought that up, and I'm like, yeah, that's absolutely going to play a role in who his character is and what's happening in the story. And I don't know. I think that really kind of shed a light on things that I didn't think about when I was thinking how the story might go. So it's kind of cool. All right. Any other final words before we start to bring this to a close here?
It was super fun.
Yeah. Well, our bonus question. We always have a bonus question. So once this episode ends, I want you guys to let me know after the mission, if this group were to share another meal together before returning to their own worlds or whatever happens next, what do you think they might choose to eat together if they were to choose a meal to have together? So that's what we're going to be asking after this episode ends. But for now, we got to do some recommendations as we bring this to a close. And there was just so much, I just had so much fun with all this here. I think it was really a good time. And I don't want to just recommend you guys go play, go do some role playing, anything like that. Read a Batman comic where he's actually doing the detective stuff. Not just he's beating the bad guy, not just like, oh, what's going on in the family drama or why is he sad this week. But like the detective comics of Batman, I think are really worthwhile to read, and seeing that side of Batman in the story was really cool. So that's going to be my recommendation. Go check out a detective comic with Batman. Christian, you have a recommendation for everybody?
Yeah, like the one that came before, I still have some issues with it overall, but 28 years later, The Bone Temple came out pretty soon, not too long ago, and it was better than the last one. Not great, but better.
I remember walking out of that and you just being so negative, and I just still wasn't sure what I thought about it. And I think for a while I was like, maybe it was good. And then I backtracked, and I think I'm still processing the first one. So I gotta wait to watch it. Maybe I need to watch it again before I watch Bone Temple.
Okay.
Mark, any recommendations for those listening?
I recently finished the Culinary Class Wars on Netflix. It's a Korean kind of chef competition show. And they bring in all these like Michelin star chefs and really accomplished chefs, like 100 chefs against each other. So they all compete, and then they get like the best chef sort of thing. There's some aspects that feel very scripted, but overall, it's a lot of fun to see the different recipes that they make.
Awesome. That does sound super cool and super relevant to today. So, that's awesome. Well, guys, thank you all so much for your time listening to this. Appreciate all of you so much. Do ask if you can take a couple seconds to rate and review our show wherever you're getting your podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever. It just takes a couple seconds, and it really helps the algorithms tell other people that they should check this show out. So if you do that, it helps grow our show, get the word out, and we really appreciate it. We also really appreciate all of our financial supporters. Today, we're shouting out Ethan Overcash, the greatest D&D at Geek Camp. And if you want to hear more about Geek Camp, email us. We would like to tell you about what we're doing this year. Also, tell you more about Ethan. He's just a cool guy. And remember, guys, if you want your own shout out, you can become an official member of Systematic Geekology on our website that's in the show's description. If you're not into like memberships or subscription stuff, I still think you should check the website out. We have a lot of cool free extra content over there. There's some merch like t-shirts and stuff that you can get. Christian's wearing one right now. Or you just leave a one-time donation if that's more your style. But there's a lot of stuff on the website I think is worth going to check out. Remember, you can find a playlist to all of our Geeks on a Roll episode down below in the show's description. And even more important to remember is that we are all a chosen people, the geekdom of priests.